Namaste. Make sure you have your props available because this class is all about de-stressing, relaxing, making sure you feel comfortable and at ease. It's particularly designed for helping to alleviate PMS and PMDD, which the practice as we're going through it may have immediate results, but it's really a regular practice, a daily regular practice that is going to offer the best results, the most alleviation over a longer period of time. So don't look to this practice as a cure-all that if you just do it every now and then, it's going to help relieve your symptoms. Just like anything holistic, it's got to be applied regularly. But it works in alleviating the stress. It can help to alleviate some of the symptoms because yoga practices tend to work on not just stretching and flexibility and that relief of physical tension, but also working with the glands and the hormonal system, helping things to function better, and also helping with circulation and evacuation. So it really is a holistic approach to not just trying to target the symptoms, but trying to support your whole body and also your mind and your mental state as well to help your body work through whatever it might be perhaps struggling with or any imbalances that may exist in your body. So if you'd like to get started, just come down to sit on your mat, have a bolster under your hips if you like, or a cushion. You can also lie down. And we're just going to start by coming into our body, becoming aware of our breath, and starting to also just let go of the day and our external environment a little. So just feeling your legs, your hips, grounding into the earth beneath you. Letting your legs and hips be heavy. And take a gentle lift into your spine, lifting all the way up into the crown of your head. Exhaling, maintaining that lift as you soften your shoulders down away from your ears, softening into your arms, your chest, and your belly. Relax into your face. And bringing your awareness to your breath without changing or judging your breath. Just becoming aware of its natural flow in and out of your nose and its natural rhythm. And starting to just intuitively breathe. So instead of thinking that you need to go into deep yogic breaths or any particular technique, you might just start with some nice, relaxed, conscious breaths. And if this is already feeling nourishing and relaxing and it's alleviating some of your mental chatter, maybe just sit with that natural organic breathing. But if you do feel inclined to go into a bit more depth with your breath, just doing whatever feels most natural and most comfortable for you. And as you observe your inhalation and your exhalation, just noticing the gentle expansion of your ribs. And as you exhale, noticing that gentle softening and contraction. And our breath is going to be a bit of a guide for our practice. So we're going to try and contain our movements within our breath, inhaling to lengthen and to move, exhaling to soften and close off. So really trying to focus more on breathing and then moving as opposed to moving and attaching the breath with it. Now bringing one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. We'll go into 5 rounds of Goranga breathing. Exhale completely. And take a breath in and say the sound. Goranga. Inhale. Goranga. Inhale. Goranga. Inhale. Goranga. One more time. Inhale. Goranga. And release your hands back to your lap, allowing the mantra to resonate through your mind and heart. And opening your eyes and coming over onto all fours, tucking your toes under and sitting back on your heels, only to press yourself up, fingertips to the floor, keeping your knees bent, and lifting your hips, coming into a standing forward fold. Laying your belly over your thighs and let your head hang heavy. And from here, we're going to inhale, lift and lengthen into a nice long back, long spine. And then exhale, bending through the knees, folding forward. Inhale, remembering to contain the movement in the breath. So focusing on your breath. And lift and move. And as you feel the urge to exhale, softening and folding forward. One more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. Coming into a full forward now, however feels comfortable for you. If you want to go to more of a relaxed forward fold, cradling your elbows, go ahead. Keep your knees bent if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and hook my first 2 fingers around my big toes and just gently draw against the toes, folding forward. Staying with your breath. One more breath here. Nice and long through the backs of the legs, the back of the body. And slowly release. Now bending through your knees, exiting out the way we came in. So rolling over onto the toes, hands to the floor, and coming onto all fours. And you'll have to forgive my sniffles. I'm just coming down with a cold. Spreading your fingers and thumbs nice and wide, setting yourself up in cat position with your shoulders stacked above your wrists and your hips stacked above your knees. And starting to inhale, look forward, arching your back. Exhale, rounding your spine in the opposite direction, chin toward your chest. Inhale, tilt your pelvis forward, looking forward, reaching your heart center forward. Exhale, change directions. Just going for a few more breaths in your own time. One more time each way. And come back to center. And now begin to walk your hands forward for puppy pose. So if you're feeling like today's a day where you need a bit more support, I'd recommend taking a bolster underneath where you're going to place your forehead, and then just laying your chest and your head over your bolster. But if you feel like you're ready for a nice shoulder opener and deep stretch, just taking your hands forward, forearms to the floor, and then carefully lowering your heart center down toward the floor, keeping your hips stacked above your knees. And either chin to the floor or forehead to the floor. Seeing if you can relax and soften in between your shoulder blades. And also relaxing and softening into the pelvic region. Staying here for a couple more breaths. And pressing into your forearms and palms, lifting out of the shoulder stretch, walking yourself back, hips to your heels, and soften into child pose. Delicious. All right. Taking your hands forward again and sliding your chest forward and making your way up into cobra. Elbows working into the ribs and broaden through your collarbones, reaching back into your toes and lengthening out of your lower back. So visualizing those lower vertebrae lengthening away from one another, lifting into the crown of your head, gazing down at the tip of your nose. And breathe. Knees to the floor, drawing in through your belly, tucking your toes and lifting back into downward dog. Taking your time to come into the pose. So if you feel like you want to warm up through your ankles, stretch out through the backs of your legs, go ahead and take your time. And then when you're ready to settle into the pose, just check your foundations that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Press the floor away and roll your upper arms in toward each other, setting your shoulder blades down your back, lifting into your hips and lengthening down into your heels. You might like to bend through the knees to allow more length through the spine. Anytime you feel you need to rest, just dropping down onto your knees and then coming back into the pose when you feel ready. One more breath here. And knees to the floor, hips to your heels. And let's stack our fists on top of one another, resting your forehead on top of your fists. And getting ready to go into another mild inversion. We'll go into dolphin now. So similar positioning to downward dog, either bringing your thumbs together to touch and then spanning your fingers out wide, and that'll create a nice kind of foundation for you for the width at which you should place your hands. The trick can be to keep your elbows from splaying out, and that's really coming from arm and shoulder strength. So planting the hands down firmly, but then feeling as if you're drawing in and hugging in. Another easy way to get around that is to interlock the hands and then have a bit of a triangular shape with your forearms. So just do whatever feels comfortable for you. Setting yourself up. And from here, inhale, lifting up. Starting out nice and broad. And then slowly walking your feet in. Lifting into your hips and lengthening down into your heels.
And same as with downward dog, if you're feeling a little bit strained through the back, bring a soft bend into the knees, and then you can prioritize lengthening from the shoulders up the spine and into the hips. And getting ready to release down now. Knees to the floor, hips to your heels, placing your hands and arms wherever you feel, and forehead to the floor. And just taking a few breaths here. Relax your shoulders. And slowly come up. All right. We're coming to make our way over to frog pose now. You're just going to do a short little detour via butterfly to warm up through the hips. So feet together and taking your knees out wide, lowering your knees down toward the floor and folding forward, gently encouraging your knees down toward the floor. And inhale, coming up. Hug your knees together and coming over into frog. You might like to lay a blanket down to have underneath your knees or fold your mat over double or move to a place where it's a little bit softer under your knees. And take our knees out wide. And with your feet flexed, knees aligned with your hips and knees also aligned with your ankles and then falling forward. So I'm going to go change positions as well, just so you can see from the side. And then from here, it can get quite intense. And it is one of those poses where practicing a little bit of surrender, softening into your mind, trusting your body, allowing it to just move into the stretch. Even though it might feel a little intense, just playing with your edge of what feels like it might be constructive discomfort. This is a really nice pose for relieving tension through the pelvic region and increasing circulation and prana through that area as well, which can all be really helpful for cramping and some of the other associated symptoms and discomforts around our menstrual cycle. So just take a few more breaths here. This is one of those poses where your body might take a little bit of time to like really drop into it. So it's best to just ease your way into it, but also give maybe 10 breaths or so, allowing your body to relax, let go of resistance. And you might notice some small, subtle little shifts as your body drops a little deeper into the pose. And when you're ready, pressing down into your forearms and shifting your weight forward is the easiest way to out. And stacking your hands on top of one another, rocking your hips from side to side. And then lay your head down. Just relax, feeling that nice increased circulation through your hips and legs. And already noticing too if you're feeling like you've relieved some of your stress. Noticing if your thoughts are slowing down a little and might be a bit more spacious on your mental plane. All right, rolling over onto our back. Hug your knees into your chest and just give them a couple little rotations around, relaxing into your sacrum, your lower back, your hips. Good. And from here, we're going to kick over into plow pose. So again, can't stress enough, just listening to your body. Some days we feel more athletic, we can go all the way. Other days, just even going halfway might feel like a lot. So taking your time, moving with your breath, moving within your breath, easing your way into the pose, and then just taking your time to really close your eyes and settle in, settling into your breathing, letting go into the position, and just drawing in. It's a really nice pose as well for a bit of pratyahara practice where your senses are a little bit disengaged from the world around you. So whenever you're ready, with a little bit of momentum and hands catching behind your hips, kicking your legs up and over. And I like to start by interlocking my hands behind my back, and that helps draw the shoulder blades together. And then from there, lift the spine and taking your toes over. I'm going with bent legs for now. You can also take a folded blanket under your shoulders for more support and length through your spine. Staying here for about another 5 breaths. You're ready. Taking your hips to your hands and carefully lowering your spine to the floor. And hug your knees in. And then walk your feet out, straightening out through your legs. Turn your palms up. And just feeling that beautiful rush of circulation and prana through your body. Now bringing your legs together, still keeping them out straight. Take your hands underneath your hips, palms down. Modified version is to bend the knees, bring your hands, bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. And from here, we'll press down into our forearms, lifting up through the chest, and then carefully lower the head back, bringing the crown of your head to the floor. Opening up through the throat. So if you can, going ahead with straight legs, flexing your toes back toward you. So see if you can maintain a balance between effort and surrender. So relaxing the head back, allowing the crown of the head to drop to the floor, but lifting from the hips into the lower back, lengthening through your spine, pressing down into your forearms, flexing the toes back toward you, firming through the legs. And keep breathing. And exhale, slowly come out of the pose. Lowering the back of your head to the floor, your shoulders, releasing your hands, turn your palms up, relax your legs and feet. And noticing your breath. And carefully drawing your knees in again, making some small circles with your knees. And back in the opposite direction.
drop your left foot to the floor and take your right sole of your foot up toward the ceiling, holding onto the sole of your foot and pressing down, moving your knee down toward the floor with your thigh sliding down along your ribs, shoulders down away from your ears. And if you can straighten out through that supporting left leg. Just a couple more breaths here. And slowly release. Switching sides. Taking hold of the left sole of your foot. Knee moving down toward the floor. Thighs down alongside your ribs. And lengthening out through that supporting leg if it feels comfortable. Getting ready to release. Taking any last stretches that your body is craving. Maybe bringing both feet to the floor and just taking a little gentle spinal twist. And then when you're ready, making yourself comfortable in, well, for Shavasana in a pose of your choice. So it may be laying in just the classical position with your legs out, or you might like to go into a reclined butterfly position with your knees out and soles of your feet together. Totally up to you. Taking your arms down by your sides. Gently tuck your chin to lengthen through your spine. Adding any props that might feel comfortable. And if you like, you can start to close your eyes and relax, allowing all the benefits of the techniques we've just practiced to assimilate in your mind and body. Taking a moment here to notice how your body feels. Observing the state of your mind. And while we did practice some poses today that were specifically a bit targeted towards women's health, you can cultivate this kind of experience through any kind of simple poses. It's always a good idea to stop and slow down, stretch out for a bit, to breathe and take that time for yourself. So beneficial and therapeutic. So don't get too worried or caught up about doing exactly the specific right poses sometimes. Just taking the time out for yourself is all you need to do. So starting to come back into your body, noticing your breath, noticing the feeling of your breath entering into your lungs and the slight rise and fall of your chest. Start to rock your head from side to side. And start feeling out into your limbs, stretching out into your fingers. Make some circles with your hands and feet.
And then rolling over onto your left side, taking a moment for yourself before you press up to a comfortable seated position. We'll just finish up with a couple of minutes chanting Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. So I'll sing through twice and then it will be your turn to sing, but with online. You can just join in however. Just really practicing listening and drawing these beautiful sacred mantras in through your ears, into your mind and down into your heart. And then when you sing the mantras, singing from your heart. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana. 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 One last time all together. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana. Now closing off our practice by bringing our palms together in prayer position, bowing our heads to offer our respects to each other, and bowing our heads to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul.